Hi everyone and welcome back. Okay, so today I'm going to show you 5 new blending tools, graphite blending tools, which you've never seen me actually use before in any of my videos. I have been using them over on Patreon. I've been using them quite recently in quite a lot of my drawings. 3 of the tools were recommended to me by 3 members, 3 of my Patreon members there. And 2 of them I discovered myself, so I'm going to show you all 5 of them in just a minute. Now, first of all, you've probably seen me use paper blenders, cotton swabs, cotton wool, brushes, tissues, all that kind of stuff for blending. You can even use microfiber cloths, chamois leathers, tissues, anything like that. But I'm not going to show you any of these today. There's plenty of videos out there with me using those so that you can see how they perform. But what I'm going to show you right now are the 5 new ones. Now, the first one was one that was recommended to me by one of my Patreon members. And you're probably looking at that thinking, hang on a minute, Smoothie, last time I checked that was a pencil and not a blender. And you'd be absolutely right, it is a pencil. But it's not just any pencil, it's a Stylus pencil. I mean, it looks like an eraser on the end there, doesn't it? But it's not actually. It's like a soft, spongy, rubbery type substance on there. It is very spongy, very soft. Somebody recommended that to try that for blending graphite. So I bought one and I've tried it. I'm going to demonstrate it for you today. I must admit, it's not the best blender that I've found. It does work. I mean, there's no 2 ways about it. It does actually work, but it doesn't give you the smoothest blend, I don't think. It can make your graphite look just a little bit patchy. If you go light with it, light pressure, and go over it several times, you can keep it fairly even. But if I just demonstrate on the top part here, if I press a little bit harder and try and blend like that, you can see it kind of goes quite patchy. I mean, that's actually an interesting effect. I'll just bring that a bit closer. That's actually an interesting effect for getting textures and things like that, maybe on rocks or foliage or something. I mean, you might be able to blend that out smoother if you kept working at it, but there again, you might want a bit of texture, I don't know. And they are very easy to clean as well. You just need to wipe them a few times and they come back nice and clean again. So that's the first one, the Stedler Norris Stylus Pencil. It does work, but it's like I say, it's not my most favourite blending tool. The favourite blending tool is one I found. It's this. It's a sponge applicator. I think it's used for things like makeup. It was even advertised for cleaning printer heads and things like that. You buy it in a pack of, well, you get 2 packs actually. There's 100 together, 50 in each pack. What I'm going to do, I'm going to link all these products for you in the description below, so you can go and check them out if you want to. But this one, I've been using this quite a lot, and it's by far my favourite blender at the moment. Not only is it good just for blending out graphite from a pencil, but if you tip graphite powder out and you rub that in the graphite powder, you can use it to get some really nice even marks. It's almost like painting with graphite using that. But I'll just show you how well it blends out graphite pencil. This is 2B pencil lead on all 5 of these. I mean, look at the lovely smooth evenness of that graphite there. Look, there's something very special about these. It's like a very microporous sponge on there, and you can feel as soon as you put it on the paper, it almost grips the paper a little bit. It's not like you know, a paper blender or anything which just sort of kind of glides over the paper. You can actually feel this. It's got a slight bite to it when you're using it, and I think that's what's making it so good and why it's really getting a nice smooth even you know, blend on this graphite. Really, really good. So that's like the large sponge applicator. And the next one is very similar. It looks very similar, but just smaller. But in fact, it's a slightly different material. This is more like a microfiber cloth. If I try and bring both of them in close, I don't know if you're going to be able to actually see the texture on there. One of them's a sponge and this one is microfiber. Obviously it's not quite so padded as that one, and you can feel the plastic through the material there, so best to press lightly with this one, but it does do the job, and it's very similar to the sponge applicator. I know pastel artists use these sponge applicator style things. I don't know if it's the same material that's on there or not, but I've tried it on pastel and it does work really well on pastel as well. So for pastel artists out there, I'd definitely give those a try, and these as well. I mean, why not try them all, you know? I mean, they're not expensive. As you can see, that'll give you a nice smooth blend as well. And of course, anything that's left on there, oh, there's not that much left on there, but you can actually use to shade in light areas. So that's that one. Right, now the next one, this is another favourite of mine. This one was recommended to me actually by one of the members over on Patreon. It's called a micro brush. Again, I'll try and get that in focus for you. If I can get the fibres to show there right on the tip. It's like a sort of microfiber brush type thing on the end there. And again, if you press too hard with it, you will feel the plastic. So the best thing to do with these is just to go very lightly. But you're not going to be blending in large areas, obviously, with one of those. You're just looking to use that just to get in the corners of window frames or any small area on your drawing where you just need to just blend those little tiny, hard to get areas, you know, where something like this is going to leave a mark outside of the lines. You want to try and keep it nice and neat, so something like this is absolutely perfect. And it works really well. It really does blend nicely, but like I say, you have to go lightly with it so that you don't dig the plastic into the paper, and you're only really using the soft tip there. But that's one that I used in that Chinese landscape drawing for blending all the fine detail on that building. And it worked an absolute treat, because normally I'd have to use something like the point on a paper blender, which is a lot thicker than one of those, or even a cotton swab. Again, it's a lot thicker than one of those, so they are ideal for small detail. Really good. And the next one is another one that was recommended to me by one of my members over on Patreon, and it's these very small, well, they look like tiny, if I just get one, tiny cotton swabs. If I just bring that closer so you can kind of see the comparison there. But really, these are quite hard. They're more like a paper blender or a tortillon. They're not soft like cotton wool, and they do have quite a sharp point on them, so you can really get in there for the fine detail. But I actually found that point just a little bit too sharp, so what I'd done was just tap it several times on your drawing board or the table, just to round that off a little bit more. Just get it nice and round. So you've not got that really sharp point, because you really can feel that point. It's quite sharp. And you obviously don't want to start scratching your paper or embossing your paper with that. So just round them off a little bit, and you've got sort of a micro paper blender or a micro tortillon with that. And again, it works really well. It's a little bit hard. I don't mean hard to do, I mean sort of hard texture there. But again, it's not something you're going to be blending out large areas with. You know, you're going to be using this just to get in there for the fine detail, and it really does work well. And again, they come in packets. I can't remember how many there are now, but I got 2 packets together. I think it's probably 50 or 100 or something. I should have probably done my homework a little bit better than that before doing this video. But anyway, you know, you can buy them in bulk, buy, you know, several of them. The most expensive ones actually are these. like I say, you get them in 2 packs of 50, you get 100 of them. I think it's about £13, £12 or something like that. These micro brushes are quite a good deal actually, because they come in a bag with 3 packets in them with 3 different sizes. Now I found it very difficult to actually tell what size was what. I think the blue ones, just take them back before they fall out, I think the blue ones are the thickest, possibly the purple ones are thinnest. I can't really tell the difference between the pink and the purple ones there, but the blue ones certainly look the thickest. But you've got different grades there. I think it's sort of 1mm, 1.5mm and 2mm, I think, or 1mm, 1.5mm, I can't remember, and 0.5mm, I can't remember. But you don't really need to know that, that's kind of irrelevant. You can kind of see what you're dealing with, you know, on the end there. Perfect for small detail. So what I'll do, I'll put the prices and the product links in the description below for you if you're interested in any of these. I think it's definitely worth you know, trying these things out. It's always nice to, you know, have a change from the usual kit that we use, because you never know, you might find something that really suits you, you know, that's a lot better than what you've been using. And for me, these large sponge applicators and these little micro brushes tick all the boxes for me. They're really, really good, really good. And I was kind of thinking about this this Staedtler Norris Stylus pencil, and I thought, well, maybe, you know, because it's a pencil and a blender on the end, that might be a good pencil to sort of carry around, you know, when you're outdoor sketching or whatever. You know, you've not got to carry separate tools with you. You can kind of carry it all round in one. I mean, the pencil, you know, it's a decent pencil. It's a Staedtler. It's an HB lead in there. You know, I'd happily use that for drawing. You know, for sketchbooking, where it doesn't matter if your blends are absolutely perfectly smooth or anything, I think that'd be ideal. Absolutely ideal. And plus you can get some nice texture with it, you know, if you wanted that kind of thing while you're out there sketching. So definitely worth considering, and I think that's the cheapest of them all. I think this was about £1.50 or £1.99 or something like that. It's probably dear for a single pencil on its own, but when you think, you know, you've got the stylus on there and you can use it on your iPad or your tablet or whatever, you know, if you don't like it for blending, and plus you've got a pencil as well, I don't think it works out too bad, to be honest. So I'll just quickly show you, I'll just move these out of the way, I'll just quickly show you what this is like with graphite powder. Just tip some out on there. Oh, that's probably too much. I mean, we can just take a little bit. Let's go around in circular motions there. You can see how lovely and even that blends in. And like I say, you can coat this up with graphite. And actually use it as like a paintbrush or a drawing tool almost. You know, because what's good about it, we're not just using this large flat area. We've got, well, I won't say a chisel edge like a watercolour brush or anything, but we've got a fine edge along the top there. Plus we've got the corners. And those corners are probably about the same. I'm just looking at it, probably might be a little bit thicker, but they're probably not far off the same thickness, you know, as a paper blending stump, a medium-sized paper blending stump. So you can certainly use it on the corner. Just got a little bit of graphite on there. Just create textures and get finer lines and things like that. I mean, I probably wouldn't use it for a foreground tree like this, but I mean, it will fill an area in quickly, you know, a lot quicker than shading and blending. So I think, you know, as a drawing tool in its own right, not just for blending, I think it's an absolute brilliant item. So okay, here we go. I'm going to get carried away again and start drawing a landscape. Right, stop before you get carried away. Okay, let's just carry on blending this in. So you can see, look, how smooth, look at that. How smooth that blends in. Now if I use the stylus, can you see, look, it's not really giving a smooth blend. It's creating some nice texture though, but it's not really what I'd call a decent blending tool for graphite, not in my opinion anyway. But this is a whole different thing. This is absolutely fantastic. You know, you could create nice, well, I've done it actually, nice cloud shadows with this. Clouds and even sort of distant mountains very quickly, just with the graphite powder on that. Look at that, isn't that incredible? Look, just for what, 30 seconds, distant mountains, and now you can start to work on them, you know, start putting the light, the darks, all that kind of stuff in right on top of it. Obviously, you know, a little bit of snow. I mean, I'm not doing a drawing for you, I'm just doing a very quick sort of just simple demonstration so that you can see that, you know, the graphite powder will still erase. I mean, this is not very good paper actually, and my eraser's clogged up, but you can keep layering up as well, get more graphite powder on there and make these areas darker. Just keep layering up more and more. I think this is a very similar thing, like I say, to the sponge applicators that you get with the, is it the pan pastels and things like that. I've never actually used one, or I don't own any pan pastels, so I've never really used one of those sponge applicators, but I'm pretty certain this could be the similar type of thing on there. But whatever, you know, this works incredibly well for graphite, it really does. So you're going to be seeing me use these a lot more now in my drawings. Possibly these as well. These are a bit smaller, so you could probably get some, you know, smaller details with these if we wanted to. Great for doing distant trees, keeping things nice and soft in the background. Keeping nice fine lines. You're probably looking thinking, well, that's probably no different to a paper blender, and it probably isn't, but it's a different experience and it's slightly softer as well. And like I say, it's always worth giving these things a try because you might find that they just work a little bit better than what you're used to. So these can be used for all sorts of, you know, background techniques, foliage, misty trees, all that kind of thing. You can even use the small brush as well. Pick up some graphite on that. Get a nice dark piece there. And again, use that to draw with. That'll create some thin lines. You can even stipple with it to create leaves, soft leaves and things like that. The uses are endless for these things. A little bit of imagination and you'll find good use for these. So there's loads you can do with them. So there we go. That's the 5 new blending tools there, which I do highly recommend. Like I say, that one's not brilliant, so you know, don't quote me on that saying that, oh, you said that was brilliant. No, it's not brilliant, but it will create nice textures, you know, like this sort of thing. Maybe there's different materials on there that work better than this one, I don't know. Some people say that these are really good, but it's not what I've found. Maybe it just doesn't work for me, maybe that's a different kind of material, I don't know. But anyway, there we go, that's the five new blending tools which I'm going to be using from now on. So I hope that's been helpful to you. If any of you have got any more suggestions for different blending tools, let me know in the comment section below. I'm always happy and willing to try out new things for graphite drawing. And if you've bought these and you've tried them before, let me know your thoughts on them. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, so thanks very much for watching. Take care everybody, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.